All right, church, now let's get on into Alexis and Justin. Now, the theme this week with Dr. Pia was building trust and intimacy. And as far as Alexis and Justin are concerned, baby, we can't get to trust and intimacy because we got to deal with some other stuff first. Now, just to level set, I understand both sides of their equation, right? On the Alexis side, I had a whole past before you. I had a whole history before you. I had a whole life before you, right? So I can't negate that part of my past in order to make you happy. And if I need 2 hours every weekend to hang out with my friends, to rest and recharge and to come back to you a better person, what's the big deal, right? And on the Justin side, if you got married to me, if you're trying to give your all to this process, if you love me as a person, if you love where we're going, why do you continually need 2 hours every weekend away from me, right? It will be different if it was every other week or twice a month, but when you do something continually every single week that takes you away from me, it makes me feel like you're not trying to be in this with me 100% and you need a break from me, right? So I get both sides of the equation. Now, I had a therapist one time, baby, that told me if you do the same thing at the same time every week, that creates a habit, right? So just to put it in perspective, he was saying that, if you take a drink at 5 p.m., say you drink some wine, right? So you drink wine at 5 p.m. every Friday, every single week after work, that creates a habit, right? And listen, based on what he told me, he said that makes you an alcoholic. Now, I don't believe that all the way because, listen, just because you need one glass of wine at 5 p.m. to de-stress, from your damn hateful job in your week does not make you an alcoholic. But what he was trying to say was the dependency portion of it, right? So if you take a drink every single week at Friday at 5 p.m., it creates a habit, right? And so it's the same thing for Alexis, right? If you have to hang out with your friends from 1 to 3 p.m. every Saturday, that's a habit. And you have to kind of ask yourself, why do I have to have that habit? Am I longing for my past life or am I running from something in my current one, right? And hell, it could be and in both. Now listen, it was very telling when, sitting with Dr. Pia and Alexis said that, I know that I'm ready to be married. I just don't know if I'm ready to be married to Justin, right? And I think that's a very telling statement, right? Because it's truthful. Yes, it hurt him. Yes, it probably could have been packaged differently, but sometimes things have to come out the way they need to, okay? And I don't think that we can operate in this farce, in this kind of fantasy land that every single couple from Married at First Sight, is matched correctly, that they're going to go the distance and they're going to stay together on decision day, right? I think sometimes you can get to a realist mindset in your marriage on this show where it's just like, yo, we've been through X, Y, and Z. Based on that, I'm feeling, A, B, and C. And based on those things, I don't know if I'm going to be able to give you what you need in order to go the distance in this marriage. And I think it was a very, very honest, truthful. Sometimes the truth hurts, right? So like I said, she could have packaged it differently, but sometimes things come out the way they need to. Now, I do validate what she's saying. She loves the commitment of marriage. She wanted somebody to be there. She wanted somebody to be her partner, right? But she also said in her past relationships they were fun, right? And she says in this current relationship she keeps coming back because she's committed to the process, right? And I kind of had an Oprah aha moment in that, right? Because to me their marriage feels more like obligation and duty than love and passion, right? And I think when you kind of make that shift between love and passion on this side and obligation and duty, it kind of takes a piece away from what the marriage is supposed to be, right? Because in an ideal situation, you'd have and in both, right? And if you have either or, you're kind of diminishing one facet of what you want in order to kind of put ahead what you think that marriage should be and what you think, you should do in a situation. And I'm not, going to negate the fact that, duty and obligation goes along with marriage. But when you have a dearth of the love and the passion, it makes the duty and obligation that much more hard to do, okay? And I think that that's what we continually saw this week in terms of their interactions, in terms of the constant breakdowns. And, maybe she's not ready to be married to Justin. Maybe Justin is not her proper match. And that goes both ways, right? Maybe, she's not right for him as well. And I think it's good to level set there, right? Because I don't think that they should give up on the marriage. I'm a firm believer that if you sign up for Married at First Sight, you should see the process through. But I think at a certain point, you have to really get in your mind, what am I trying to accomplish here, right? Am I always trying to be in stress, struggles, and strife and fighting with this man? Or do I just want to, be peaceful, try to, work through our problems on an interpersonal basis and try to get to the end of it and learn something out of it, right? So you kind of have to make a decision, because if you pick the route where it's always stress, struggles, and strife and you're always fighting, that kind of stuff takes a toll on you, okay? And I think that most people who get divorced realize that there was a point in time where they knew that it wasn't going to work out, right? And for me, this was kind of the point that I realized it for Alexis and Justin. Now, y'all drop down in the comments and let me know if you feel something differently, but I definitely felt a shift in this week in terms of their energy towards each other. So we shall see what shall happen in this damn match, but truthfully, I don't know if I see it, because I think that they're both ready to be married. I just don't know if they're ready to be married to each other.